Hello everyone, it's Billy Willard with Sasquatch Watch Radio. Thought I'd bring you back to an old site that I used to research. Goodness, it's probably been over 10 years ago, probably, possibly 15. But anyway, it's kind of near the Fauquier County, Culpeper County area. Some trails that go back to the Rappahannock River. Anyway, this used to be a stomping ground for research, and figured I'd come and visit today on this nice, beautiful day. Let y'all kind of get some of the scenery. This has grown up a lot since 10 to 15 years ago. A lot of these were young saplings back at that time, and you could see a pretty good distance back then. Now, as you can see, it's all gotten really thick, heavily wooded and thick. So, got a nice trail here. This trail actually goes all the way back to the Rappahannock River, and I will pop on the video every now and then, and just to show you around. So I'll be back shortly. Now this is a pretty common thing to find out in this area. We found a lot of this. It's naturally occurring. It's usually caused by a snowfall. It's caused the trees to kind of permanently stay that way. These are just small pines, nothing Bigfoot created. But you'll find things like that even back in the forest, like that one right there. So very common to find these, and in most circumstances is not some type of a Bigfoot related phenomena. Okay, now this was an area where many years ago I had brought Fox Channel 5 news from Washington, D.C. They were doing a special, of course, during October on the subject of Bigfoot, and we had brought them out here. Again, a lot of this has grown up. This area right here was a little further back, and a little bit more open back to where that first large tree is right here. This was a more wider area, but it's all brush overgrown now. So we had set up our chairs here, Fox 5, and we were kind of aimed in this direction. And of course, we had them turn out their camera lights. The camera guys always like to have their big bright lights on. And funny story, we were all sitting here and we started hearing some noise over here, and the cameraman kept asking me, "What is that?" And I said, "Well, no, we gotta, be quiet and listen, stay in the dark and let it get closer." So it kept getting closer, and he was getting a little antsy, and I told him, I said, "Just don't turn the light on." And all of a sudden we hear this sound, and it's really close, probably within, 20 feet. And it lets out this really loud snorting noise. Now, the moment I say snort, y'all probably realize what we're talking about. But this poor guy apparently had never been in the woods in his life. And he was afraid that it was a Bigfoot creature, and I'm like, don't worry. And I guess what it was, we were kind of in the way. There's kind of a game trail over in that area right there that goes that way, and we were kind of, I guess, the barrier between the deer and where they wanted to go. But it was just hilarious because the poor guy was scared to death, and finally I let him turn the light on, and of course we saw it was just deer. But just a funny story. You know, some folks that don't spend any time or haven't spent any time in the woods, you know, their mind jumps to conclusions, you know, especially when you're in the dark and you're just not used to it. So just thought I'd share that funny story, but we'll see if we can continue on down to the river. Okay, as we get closer to the river, as you can see, things kind of narrow out, they get thicker. Again, there's been a lot of change in the several years since I've been here. But as you can see, it's really beautiful back in here, really, with the way the vines kind of grow up the trees. You know, a lot of these trees are dying or dead. And the way the vines grow up, it just kind of makes it a beautiful area. And definitely plenty of places to hide. But I thought I'd share this, way this looks as we get closer to the river. Yeah, we're getting closer to the river. As you can see, everything narrows and the undergrowth is getting a lot thicker. But if you listen closely, maybe you can hear the river right down below us, probably another couple 100, 200, 300 yards away. I just wanted to give you an idea how thick it gets back in here as you get close to the river. And there you have it, guys. The Rappahannock River. Water was much lower months ago when we were in a pretty bad drought. And of course, we've had some storms and rain and got the river going again, but it still looks like you could pretty easily get to the other side. Still a lot of rocks showing, you know. So, I mean, the river is still at a low level, much lower than what it has been historically. So, but yep, it was a nice little trip back in here. Just kind of wanted to share with everyone, just to kind of give you an idea of some of the areas that we've researched in the past. And hope y'all enjoyed. Well, I guess they always say to put a camera on your back as you're walking out. So let's do that for a little bit. Guess you never know what's behind you when your back is turned. Definitely enjoyed my hike back in here because it's been quite a while since I've been here. Good to get back out. And hopefully I can do this a little more often and stop by some of my old research sites and add it to the YouTube page over a period of time. One thing I would like to point out while we got some time here as I'm walking out the trail, on our show, Sasquatch Watch Radio, it comes on every Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. It's myself and Gary Kendrick is the host. I just wanted to point out something. The show is about our guests. Our show is not about us. And I know a lot of podcast shows, the hosts make it more about themselves and what they do rather than about their guests and what they do. So just thought it was important to point that out, that myself, Gary Kendrick, my co-host, in no way, shape, or form are doing this show for ourselves, but we're doing it for our viewers. We're doing it so that our guests can get out their stories, the things that they're doing or working on. And Although you may hear myself and Gary give a funny story occasionally. Again, it's all for laughs. It's good to laugh at ourselves because we all make mistakes. We all do things that we wish we would have done differently. But you know, the important thing about this research, about the podcast, is have fun doing what you do. You know, don't get into these groups where it's nothing but different problems and different drama. We've seen longtime friends become enemies. And that was one of the reasons I left and took a 8 to 10 year break, because quite frankly, it was making my life miserable watching it and sometimes getting in the middle of it. And you know what? All that does is fuel the fire. So I'm just wanting everyone to please take it to heart. Life is short. Enjoy your time. Enjoy your friendships. And if you have a disagreement, agree to disagree. You know, if someone is successful at having a podcast, or if someone is successful, at putting together Bigfoot conferences, so be it. Is it hurting you? No, it's not hurting anyone. It's sometimes there's a lot of anger, jealousy, different frustrations, and egos, lots of egos. Let it go. Just let it go, honestly. Think of the fun that you're missing, just going out, spending some time, some quality time in the woods or wherever, enjoying each other's company, and looking for something that we all have a mutual interest in. That's all. I still have friends in this research that can't just let it go. Just let it go. It eats you up. Let's come together. Let's talk about it face to face, instead of being, keyboard warriors and going back and forth with insults and things of that sort. So that's all. There's a preacher here in the DC area. He always says, not a sermon, just a thought. It's funny, but in reality, we all just need to come together and get along. And holding different grudges and anger does nothing but hurt your health. So be happy. Enjoy your time in the woods with friends. Make up, with past friends. And let's have a good life together. So let me switch this around. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the little hike, and hope to see you Monday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern on Sasquatch Watch Radio. This is Billy Willard signing out.
On a dusty back road to the night go wrong, Billy and Gary calling the forest their home. In the twilight hours, they turn on the show. Sasquatch watch radio where legends grow. Billy's got his map, Gary's keeping track. Those stories and whispers of a creature's track. Scratchy voices on the airwaves, listeners lean in close for the tale of Bigfoot coast to coast. Who under the pale moon's glow, they're searching high, they're searching low. Sasquatch watch radio, tell us what you know. Is he out there where wild tales grow? Boots hit the trail as the signal fades. Echoes of howls in the midnight shade. Flashlights flicker, hearts begin to race. Billy and Gary chase shadows in the twilight's grace. Calls on the line from side east to share, from deep in the mountains to the swamp's lair. Every legend told, every story sold, keeps a mystery alive as the nights unfold. Who under the pale moon's glow, they're searching high, they're searching low. Sasquatch watch radio, tell us what you know. Is he out there where wild tales grow? Colors on the line, sightings to share. Deep in the mountains to the swamp's lair. Every legend told, every story sold, keeps the mystery alive as the nights unfold. Who under the pale